welcome back to the channel, everybody. Sorry, there's been a bit of a delay in making videos. The reason I haven't really made very much is really because there was nothing happening for the last 3 months. We've been on the same version, and there was supposed to be a new version 10.13 that was supposed to come out, and then there was some delays, and then it morphed into 10.69. And 10.69 was supposed to come out a number of weeks ago, but it's finally here. So when I got the update yesterday, I was quite excited to see the lengthy list of improvements, and by seeing some of the videos online, it seemed like some people were experiencing some significant improvements compared to 10.12. So I was hoping for some great things. So this video will do a bit of an overview of what we found on the first few drives here, and give you a sense of where we're at here in our area. So when I loaded the software and went for the first drive, I was hoping to see some significant improvements, but to cut to the punchline, unfortunately, so far I'm not seeing any significant improvements and some regressions from the previous version. So I'm hoping that will get tweaked over the coming weeks here. That did happen on 10.12, where initially it was quite rough, and then it started improving with apparently some setting changes without any software updates. So overall, the phantom signaling is still present, the merging is still not great, performance on small roads is about the same as it was, jerkiness around some corners and intersections has actually gotten worse. Phantom braking is still present. Speed bumps, not slowing down for speed bumps, is about the same from what I've seen on limited testing so far from before. Roundabouts I haven't done a ton of testing with yet, but I will be soon. School zones in our area, it still does not slow down to 30 in the school zones as it did before. And I've had some significant errors turning right into traffic, so I'll show you some of that detail. So if you don't want to watch the whole video, there's the rundown, but hopefully things will improve. So this first example here, we're coming off the highway and about to merge into to the right into the lane of traffic coming from the left over the overpass there. So have a look at what happens here. I've done this dozens, hundreds of times on the previous version, and it did fairly well for the most part. Here we come up to it as seeing the cars in blue, but then it just decides to go, and I have to take over here. It was pulling into that lane of traffic. I don't know if it was trying to creep or something, but definitely seemed like it was accelerating the traffic, and I tried to re-engage here multiple times and it kept doing the same thing. So that's something that's has never happened on the previous version, definitely a regression, and not great at all, obviously. So hopefully something like that improves, but I'm really wondering what would cause something like that when it was working fine on the previous version, and then all of a sudden it's making some dangerous moves again on a brand new updated version. Next we have an example of the speed bumps. So some speed bumps around this area on the previous version were being picked up and it was slowing down for them, but others not, so I decided to try it again. This is one that was not working on the previous version, and it still comes full speed at it, and I had to disengage to keep it from going over the speed bump at 40. So still the same issues there. This next example is going through an intersection that again was working quite smoothly because I do this intersection multiple times a day. So it was working quite well on the previous version, and have a look at what happens here. So we're waiting for the yellow. There's a person crossing on the left, and they end up standing at the crosswalk there. So we're waiting for the yellow here. Here we go, it does proceed on the yellow, but it takes an extremely wide turn. It was heading straight for those people, so I did disengage. It probably would have made the turn, but it was not very smooth and definitely going to scare those people if it hadn't taken over there. So I'm not sure what's happening there. Those are intersections that I've done, like I said, hundreds of times, and definitely were working quite smoothly on the previous version. So here we have a few examples of some crosswalks coming up. I'd heard that this version was very cautious around pedestrians, so I was interested to see what that looked like in real life testing. So there's, I believe, one person crossing at this upcoming crosswalk and some other people waiting at the crosswalk about to cross. So there's the person crossing. It continues on and I had to disengage. It was heading straight for those people that were crossing with another person that was already in the crosswalk. So I have no idea what happened there. It definitely would have proceeded straight through even though those people were just stepping off of the sidewalk. So again, not really that impressed so far with this version. I overall have not really seen any significant improvements, but some fairly significant regressions in terms of the interaction with people in that case there, and the interaction with driving into traffic with that merge lane I showed before. So hope it improves is really all I can say. Here's another crosswalk coming up with people waiting to cross. Lights are flashing, but the car did not stop at all. Didn't make any moves to slow down or stop for that pedestrian, even though it was fairly obvious to myself as the driver that there were people at the crosswalk and they were about to cross, so should have slowed down. This is an example of a small country road. I wanted to see if there's any changes in terms of unmapped small roads, or not unmapped, but limited mapping. It pretty much performed the same way as it did on the previous version. There was actually some increased jerkiness around some of the corners. So for some reason it seems to learn as the versions go on, but then lose that learning again when a new version comes out and has to relearn some of the improvements and smoothness, which is disappointing as well. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's the impression that I have, that somehow some of the smoothness around intersection turns that had been improved in previous versions had now disappeared again. Same type of behaviors happening on this road, where it was I'd driven this road a number of times and had gotten decent anyways, and now it became more skittish and hesitant around some of the tight corners coming up here. And the last example I have for you today is a merge. It was not great merging on the last version, where it would basically just proceed straight into the end of the merge lane and then bump over. Didn't make any attempts to signal or merge properly. That same behavior is still happening in this version. So there's the summary for today. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends if you'd like to support my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day.